And then we have the problem I'm most concerned about, which is the struggles that consumers, people, are having today with their health care bills because of their deductibles and their drug costs and their surprise medical bills and their premiums at a time when their wage growth has been relatively flat, which are rippling through their family budgets and have all kinds of consequences for real people, the pocketbook issues and the consumer issues for people, which we aren't even talking about much. And those problems are the worst for people who are sick. So today, just to throw out one number, people who are sick and might have cancer or heart disease or diabetes or whatever illness you choose, more than 50% of those people, people with an illness, are having a serious problem today paying their medical bills. Makes it harder for them to pay the rent or the mortgage or to buy food or to pay for their cost to get to work. And that, I think, has become almost a crisis that we don't even talk about very much in our country. So it isn't one cost problem to me, it's many cost problems.
Mm-hmm. One of the major ones that has been touted in the recent months has been, and once again, because this has been a topic area that's been discussed a long time, which is really around drug costs, and whether Medicare should be negotiating better prices. And I recently saw, Americans going to Canada so that they can get cheaper drugs. And the concerns are not just about the big, costly new drugs and new drug development, but even how it's affecting a drug like insulin, which is so commonly used in our country. Do you have some insights about how this drug debate is going to roll out?
It's good that everyone's talking about it.
That's a first step.
Yeah. I don't know how much I could say beyond that. It's also good that on this issue, because people are so concerned about it, because everyone's talking about it, there is at least some bipartisan movement. So, for example, we see legislation co-authored by Senator Grassley, a prominent Republican, Senator Klobuchar, a prominent Democrat who might run for president. That's different, makes this a little different. Will anything actually happen? The drug companies set a record for money spent lobbying last year when not very much was even happening that was threatening to them. The Congress is paralyzed, and there are the prospects of things becoming pretty toxic with oversight and whatever happens with the Mueller report. So it's very hard to predict that there'll be movement or legislation in this area in the next year. But there are those who are somewhat optimistic that something could happen just in this one area in healthcare, drugs, and it wouldn't be sweeping, but it might be something.
Some things that Phil Lee would always talk about, which was incremental health policy changes rather than dramatic revolutionaries.
And these days it would be significant if anything bipartisan could be achieved in health, since it's so difficult for the Congress to do anything in health right now, given that our issue has become almost the poster child of partisan division in the country. One consequence of that is a lot of the action that we're seeing is in the states in health, but we're seeing the blue states and the red states move in very, very different directions. But there are some really interesting and I would say promising developments in a number of the states. California, as always, is the leader and has some very ambitious, the new governor, Governor Newsom, has some very ambitious proposals in health. But so does Washington State and New Mexico and the state where I was once in government, New Jersey. So the states really bear watching. And in terms of actions that would actually have tangible impact on people in the short term, probably I would say watch the states, not Washington.
So it may bubble up if there's some positive experiences at the state level.
Absolutely, and just as things did in health reform originally in Massachusetts, and then, later some of that experience was embodied in the ACA.